Greetings! Friday morning. I heard a guy say the other day that making these videos like this is giving other people the opportunity to participate in my dream, in my adventure, right? So I'm just doing what happens here, but I get really excited about it because I have some really exciting work ahead of me today. And I want you to see who I have with me. My little buddies. I could title this 10 Ways That Goats Are Useful. But that would be a really dumb title. So here's what I'm doing today. So it's Friday, and Friday around here is chicken processing day. So we got that apparatus going, and this is the work that we have today to process. These are other people's chickens, and then we got to go out and get 50 of our own. So there's going to be total, I don't know, maybe 150 birds. And the cauldron's rolling. But before we do that, it's like 8:30 in the morning. We're kind of behind the power curve a little bit. We have to milk. And this is one of the reasons why goats are not good. Like they're getting right in the stanchion and grabbing the... Get out of here. Yeah, see, that's why it's not a good thing to have goats. Okay, you gotta come with me. And I gotta lock you up. All right. We lock this guy up every day to keep him out of the feed. He's a good little goat, but... Okay, get in there. I just want to go in there. You gotta go in there. Yes, you do. There, now you're in there. Okay. And the other one is skittish, so this is how it works. I think this is fun. This is how this is built, all right? So there's 5 stanchions there. This is all fairly new, like this year for sure. And that's the door that I built. That window Jim put in. This is the area under the haymow in the barn. And this is where they did this process. This was built for this. What would really be cool is if this were finished off in here. It's not. We still have to pour the fluid in. All right, cut out there for a minute. But let me show you how this works. It'd be really cool if I could set this camera up. I think I probably can. Let me set it up right here. How's that? Yeah, that'll work. All right, you get to see how this works. So I get to come in here and slide this door open. And when I do, 1, 2, 3. Go ahead. This is Space. She's scared. One more is still in there, and we're not milking her, so Face has found the wrong spot. All right, and see, they get their own place. They don't go in the same place every week, every day. It kind of jockeys around, but then I go in. Let's see if I can show this. I can't see this, but I go in and all I do is clip this shut. 1. 2. 3. 4. So I put in a little bit of, let's see, turn this around. I'm not sure if that was actually on me. Maybe it was. But I put in a little bit of grain just to entice them to come in. Like, they don't really like to get milked, I don't think. But they do like to get a little bit of grain. And then the way this stanchion is designed is I put the grain right there in front of them. And then on this position right here, in between them, we put hay. And, you know, this time of year, they're in grazing mode. So they're out there eating grass all the time. But they do like a little bit of hay. It's sort of a treat for them. And once they're locked into the stanchions, this is the stanchion that I got from Troy Finstrom, my neighbor. And I've cleaned these all up with a wire brush and put some sealer on them to keep them from rusting anymore. But these things are probably 100 years old, and they still work just like they did when they were brand new. Okay. Under the barn, it doesn't get good reception, so it disconnects. So these guys will stand here for a long time. They get real comfortable as soon as they're standing in their stanchion. I think that's probably why they call them stanchions. And then we can take our time milking them. There's the little compressor. There's the milking apparatus. And you can see the floor in here. We've chosen to just bed it with straw right now. I'd like to be in chips at some point, but I haven't secured a source of chips right now. If anybody knows where there's some chips, I'd be glad to go get a truckload of them. I mean, I can go and buy them, but I'd rather have like green chips that have just been chipped this year, you know, so it's got a lot of leaf material in because it smells good. But this originally had concrete in here, and we broke all that concrete out. It was in poor shape, so breaking it out wasn't really hard. And now we're just on dirt. And I think back in the day they thought, well, that's not good to be on dirt, but I believe it's better to be on dirt because they will manure while they're in here, and they will urinate. And if we have concrete on the floor and it's wintertime, you know, as soon as that stuff hits the ground, it's freezing. So by spring, you're going to have a real mess. Now, you would try and move it out of the way, but if you have, you know, frozen manure on the floor and frozen urine on the floor, when the cows come in, they are kind of like walking on eggshells. You know, like when you walk on ice, you're like, your mind is on not slipping. And that's where they will be in their head. So we want them to come from the loafing area, which is behind the door number 3 there, in here and just walk in and eat. We don't want them thinking, oh, you know, I might slip and break a hip here. We don't want that. And that does happen. That happens in commercial outfits all the time. Cows just, they're not used to being on concrete and they slip. So we don't want that. And then what we're doing is we're generating a source of composting material. So every time they use this, every time they urinate in here and defecate in here, then we'll scoop that up and we'll sit it, you know, and then that becomes, you know, that becomes compost. Compost becomes hay, and so on. You know, the cycle continues. But the cycle wouldn't really work. I think it was designed this way so we would get involved. Like if they just came in here and did the whole thing themselves and I just sat in front of the TV and drank milk, I don't think it would work as well. but it requires my management. Disconnected again. 100 pounds of manure a day to the compost pile. So at the end of a significant period of time, we've got some real weight there. Let that compost down, let it enrich with all the microbiological entities in it, and then we'll take that out and spread that on the field. The field says, yeehaw, let's grow some hay, and then the cycle continues. And the way this apparently is designed to operate is the cycle creates abundance as you run it. Like the fields get more fertile with time. It should be that way. I should not have to be adding, stuff that's made by big companies. I shouldn't have to do that. And I don't. I never have, and our fields are producing more than they ever have. Matter of fact, my lawn is producing more than it ever did. When we got here, the lawn was just horrible. The front yard and all the yards were not good. And then we started putting compost on them, and they've really come through. So much so that I'm building a machine, and I'll show you this later because you want to experience the dream. All right, I got to get to it. Milking cows. Anyway,